Well, David, it's really nice to catch up with you again, and I trust you're keeping well. You know, as you know, we conduct an annual survey about our global network, asking partners and directors all around the world questions about quality, the sense of family and teamwork, and the value people provide to our clients. Well, on our last survey, participants specifically called you out as a great team member to work with on global teams. Well deserved, David. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. But first, can you tell us a little bit about your background? Where are you based? What do you do? Things like that.
All right, happy to. Well, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to discuss with you. I was thrilled when I saw the email, really happy that the work is being recognized. So a little bit about myself. First of all, my name is David Stalker, as you all know. I'm currently in KPMG Luxembourg. I'm a director here in the international tax team focused on commercial and industrial groups. I've been working here with KPMG since 2016 and in Luxembourg since about 2014, working for other companies who shall not be named. I am actually Brazilian, but also Luxembourgish, so hence why I'm here. And well, as a director here in the international tax team, naturally, most of my work deals with working with large groups with a presence worldwide, where I'm either going to be supporting my colleagues from abroad and whatever they may need from a Luxembourg perspective, or asking them to please support me whenever one of my clients also needs some help with whatever's going on abroad. So that's the gist of it.
Really nice, David. Really nice. You know, oftentimes we forget just how important the network and collaboration across it is. So I'd be interested to hear more about your philosophy, how you approach working on a global team, helping clients with their most complex global issues. Tell me a bit.
Happy to, Rodney. So I was particularly happy about this nomination, just because this global collaboration is something that I personally really value. I think that's the big differentiator that we have as a company, this wide network that we have, more so than other things that may come to mind, like, I don't know, the technical individual knowledge of each office and so on and so forth. Because what really makes a difference is that we're basically everywhere. So if we're working for a global account, it's very easy to find people anywhere in the world that may be able to help in plenty of different subjects where we may not have the knowledge ourselves. And based in Luxembourg in particular, this is even more true because we're here, this relatively small landlocked country where we always deal in international matters by nature. Since it's a small country, everything that happens will always involve at least one other jurisdiction. So this collaboration is close to my heart as a person, because it's also one of the reasons why I decided even to work with international taxation instead of just working on domestic tax matters. And it's even truer when we look at the particular working situation of the country that I'm based on.
Really interesting perspective and philosophy, David. So you've been called out as one of the great people in the network. If you had any tips, advice, words of wisdom for people either starting to work on global teams or perhaps already doing so, what would that advice
be? Okay, that's an interesting question. So what I think is that first, we should always try to look at things from a very global picture. It's not just about what we're doing domestically that matters. And it's not just about our own individual targets as professionals or as a specific firm that matters. When we're approaching a client, the client is a KPMG client. In the globalist sense possible, not just on the country that you're working on. And as I mentioned before, that really makes a difference. So I like to think that whenever I'm approaching a client or a client approaching me, to see any kind of issue that they may absolutely have anywhere, not only the one that I'm effectively engaged to deal with or the one that deals with my own country and my own targets, because this is where I can really involve my colleagues, and I can also show to the client that I'm thinking about more than just the obvious thing that they came to us. And also when approaching the network, I think it's always important to keep in mind to be fair, because again, we are all part of the same team here. So it's not just about trying to come to them with unrealistic deadlines and unrealistic fee expectations. It's knowing about recognizing the contributions of all the various teams, because ultimately, if a good job is done for the client, it's only because the sum of the various parts was good, and not just because one or the other was doing something different. So that's how I try to approach when working with the network. It's really trying to involve them as much as possible, trying to see wherever I can involve them in whatever we're doing, and trying to keep the relationship in a way that is beneficial for both. It doesn't matter if ultimately the project is going to involve me. Maybe I just found something that is useful for the other country. Still worth it. Just pass it along. Client is happy, the network is happy. Or if it's something that we work together, even better, because it's always nice to have this interaction with colleagues.
Well, David, those are fantastic tips. On the one hand, thinking outside the box, if you will, trying to look beyond the narrow questions that might be being asked. And on the other hand, and perhaps even more important, it's the success of the team that counts in terms of helping the client rather than perhaps any individual component. So thinking about how will the team help the client be more successful in whatever they're doing is just a great piece of advice. So I again just wanted to congratulate you on this. Being called out in this way is really a great thing. And it's really impressive how you live our principles of family and network. So thank you for sharing your insights today, David.
Thank you very much. And again, I'm also very grateful for the network for recognizing my efforts. And again, nothing would have been possible without everybody working together. So even more than a recognition for myself, I take this as a recognition for the idea of working together.
Great words to end on. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Rodney.